Hello, everyone. Alex here from WeatherXM. Today, I'll be talking to Stratos, our product leader here at WeatherXM. Hey, Stratos, how you doing?
Hello, everyone. How are you? I don't get the
Um,
opportunity to talk a lot in these videos. It's nice to be here once in a while.
well, all right. Well, hopefully that changes. That's the goal of these videos. So hopefully we can get you on here more often. But today we have some exciting news. We're going to be talking about what you've been working on so diligently. So maybe we can walk through our current data, where it's located, how people can get it, and then what you've been working on and why it's going to be a better solution. So yeah, maybe you can start with the name of the product you've been working on.
So we're building what we call WeatherXM Pro. It's Pro because it's the Pro version of our vision, or what we've been building so far is focused on the consumer, on the station owner. Now we're directing the entire team to work on tools for professionals. So this is our first attempt. It's pretty basic to start with, but that's it creates the infrastructure where we want to build on in the future. So
Is the current what's the current way people can get our data, right? We've been collecting all this data. Where is it stored and where can they get it now? And are there any restrictions on that data that is
so
currently
so
available?
so far there are two ways to access our WeatherXM data. One is through our Index app, which is essentially a directory where we upload every day a single file that contains the raw data from all the stations of the network, in a single file per day. And it's a bit cumbersome to consume in a way that where, you can build tools on, for example, and make the data useful for you. But there's that, and also there is the API that our mobile apps and our Explorer are using, which again is built having in mind the needs of these tools, the mobile apps and the Explorer. It's not for every user, so it might not be useful for you. And also, you cannot access the raw data of the stations there, and you can only access hourly aggregates, which is not that useful all the time. And keep in mind also that through these two ways, we offer the data free for personal use. So if you're a professional that wants to build services on top of our data, you are not supported, and this these data don't come with the appropriate license. So we are building a commercial license in Pro for the first time, and Pro marks the next phase of our project. So far, we've been focusing on building the network. That's what the first few years of the project were about. And now, for the first time, we're making a transition to the next phase, aiming to build tools that unveil the value of the data of our network.
Okay. And so when the API is released, are there going to be different tiers of the API? Is there one API for maybe like our power users, individuals, or someone who just wants a custom forecast for their house versus like an enterprise that wants to have access and
Yes.
use it?
So we did our best to create a pricing plan that makes sense for everyone. And of course, we will be open for feedback for this. We will be offering a free plan for everyone to try. It will be limited, of course, but it will give you access to most, if not all, the functionality that we're going to offer now and in the future. Because we just, we want everyone to really get a glimpse of what we can offer, what is the value of these tools. And then we have different pricing plans based on the needs of people. One for those who only need historical data from the network, another one for those who are okay with historical data plus an okay area accuracy forecast. And then there's the top tier for those who really want hyperlocal accuracy and also analytics on how we track the accuracy of different forecasts, which is, what this whole project is about. And of course, there will be custom plans
Yeah.
for any big enterprise requiring something more.
Well, for our community, I don't know if they know what the difference between an area forecast is and that more custom point forecast. Can you give me the difference
Yeah, so I
explanation on
mean, we all know that forecasts are not that accurate, like in general in the world. And what we've been trying to do on our own and also with third-party collaborations, we're trying to tune all these forecasts that are essentially area forecasts because they are tuned for big areas of the world. They're not point accuracy. All forecasts are for an area of 5 square kilometers or 25 square kilometers, depending on what forecast you consume. And this causes inaccuracies. And we've seen that when we're trying to create added value services, for example, for the energy industry or for the agricultural industry in the past. So what we're doing now is we're using the data of our stations to calibrate, to better fit these area forecasts on a hyperlocal basis based on the station data. So what we do is we compare every forecast that we have available, many different models. We compare them historically with every station's data, and we can understand better which forecast is the best for this location, for the location of the station. That's we call it hyperlocal, because the output of this work, of this analysis, is the end result. It is a better forecast that is tuned for this location. Not something that everybody can do. It's just because we have this network and the power given to us by the community of the station owners that we can produce really hyper-local, better, improved forecasts.
Okay. No, that makes sense. And so it sounds like what you guys are going to be releasing is going to be live, quotes, live and historical observation data, right? You're going to be releasing an area forecast for some sort of higher tier and then a point-specific forecast. Is that like a good way to think about it? And then forecast tracking at the end as well, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, we are releasing the historical data API first, and current weather data and historical weather data. And then we will be including in the APIs the area forecast. Then, as you said, we will be adding the hyperlocal forecast plus accuracy tracking. And then we're going to build more and more visualizations and other tools in the app that will help weather professionals analyze microclimate, perhaps, of specific areas, find which forecast best fits their needs based on, if they're interested in temperature versus wind. We can imagine lots of stuff being added there in the future.
Okay, great. And I think I'm curious, when can I expect to get access to this, or when can our community start buying or playing with this product?
So we are releasing very soon. The time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I know, so you lead all products here. So, where do you see this impacting other products like maybe the Explorer? Is that going to change the way it looks? Are we going to start consuming that API internally as well?
Think about this as, us being the first users of our products. We are professionals that are affected by the weather too and want to have these access to these tools. And we want to make the other apps that we have more useful. This is something we've been talking a lot internally in the team, and we want to be adding some Pro features in the mobile app and the Explorer at some point. I can't say at the moment what exactly will be added there, just because we want to build it in Pro first. But at least regarding the mobile apps, I think it's something that many people would like to have, like a hyper-local forecast. We will be talking soon about how we are going to do that.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense. I know, so on my weather station, I have it here at my house. Well, it's, I guess, in my backyard. But I currently can see the forecast, right? I think it's 7 days in my app. Is that the area forecast that will be in that middle API tier for Pro?
That is correct.
And so that leads me to my next question. I suppose, when can we expect to get an Explorer map showing where we need data? So since I'm on the business side, I'm kind of curious. Well, I know very well that not all weather data is created equal, right? Certain clients want the data for specific spots, right? That should be, pretty obvious. And so do we have any plans on the Explorer to share, hey, where there's already current data, where it might not be as useful for us in terms of other weather station networks? And then are we planning to incentivize those, or maybe give me some information on how you see the Explorer progressing?
So there are a lot of stuff that we've been discussing internally about what we could do with the Explorer. And maybe just because there are so many ideas and so many things to build, maybe we will see more Explorers in the future that are narrowly scoped to solve different problems. And one of these is, how do we incentivize people to deploy stations in areas that are currently underserved? So we've been rolling out some targeted rollout programs, as you already know, as we have already announced. And, part of these initiatives is because we want to deploy stations in areas that we don't have any stations. And we will be incentivizing specific areas for deploying stations through a bounty tool that one can envision like our Explorer, but it will give the market the opportunity to pay some tokens or some euros or something and be able to say, I want stations to be deployed here and here. And the first station to be deployed there will be earning that tokens. So this is some functionality that we will need to build in our smart contracts and our infrastructure first in order to support it. And then I'm pretty sure the tool itself will come. At the same time, just to help also our deployers, our partners that help us deploy a great number of thousands of stations in these underserved areas, we are going to be creating a tool of sorts, be it the Explorer again or another tool that will show where are gaps on the world map, where people can install stations in.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for that, certainly. And then what are you most excited for in terms of who's going to be using the Pro app, right? What use cases do you really want to see the API used for?
So my background is in engineering, software engineering, and I've been using weather services and weather APIs for as long as I can remember my professional career. So I really want to create a great API, weather API. So I'm really looking forward to be integrating more and more of our data, like the forecasts I discussed, and all the work being done by our research team on forecast accuracy tracking and all the kinds of different forecasts and added value services that we can add then. So we're really pumped about this. The entire team is aligned on building such tools for professionals, and I think it's going to be a great, interesting future for the team and everyone.
Yeah, I know when we were at that Met Tech conference, one of the things that we were showcasing quite often was the forecast tracking. I found it very interesting. I'm sure our community would find it interesting. Are they going to need to have this most advanced subscription to be able to see forecast tracking, or do you envision a future where we maybe share it out for free on some dashboard? How do you envision forecast tracking and how we share it out?
So, one insight that we got is that many people don't know about the actual problem. They don't know how inaccurate forecasts in general are. So what we want to do is through Pro is educate people on the problem. So you will be able, of course, to get the full value of the product in the biggest plans, let's say, but we want to have something useful and regarding forecast accuracy tracking too, in all tiers too. So you're going to have some information. I can't say at the moment to what extent we're going to build this forecast accuracy tracking feature for every plan, but we're going to have something for everyone.
So Stratos, I know we're coming up on time here. Are there any final thoughts or anything you want to say to our community here?
That's a good question. Let me think about it. So yeah, I think we've been focusing too much maybe on the supply side, on building the network, as I commented earlier, and building tools for station owners. We have kind of forgotten that, we still need to create more value for this project. And it's really, pumping me for the future when we're building this kind of stuff that we find very useful and that we think many people will find useful. And it's also how we envision that this value will eventually go back to the station owners and the token holders. So the Pro app is essentially what will be completing the WXM economy. In the future, you will be able to buy these services that we've been talking about using our token. And, there will be companies that will buy tokens and spend the tokens on Pro to buy weather services. And then this value will go back to token holders. This is how we envisioned it in the first place when we were first writing our tokenomics. And, this is it. Now is the moment to complete this vision.
Yeah. An exciting day to finally start the flywheel as well, right? Building the data demand, creating demand for the token, for the data. I'm excited. So can't wait to start playing around with it and get this in the hands of our community. It's been great speaking with you today, Stratos. And yeah, we're going to have you on again soon.
Nice talking to you, Alex.
Ciao.
Bye.